What up, everybody? Instructabeats back again, here with another distributive property lesson. Today we're talking about the distributive property with visual models. So this is the second lesson in our distributive property playlist. We started with arrays, and now we're going to talk about how we can draw these tape diagrams or bar models or strip diagrams, whatever you want to call them, and solve them using the distributive property. So our objective today we will be able to visualize how we solve multiplication problems using the distributive property by drawing a model to represent the problem. But first, what is the distributive property, right? And we need to start with the basics of multiplication. So if you need our beginning lesson, you can check out the link at the top of our page. That will take you to our first lesson when we talked about and introduced the distributive property using arrays. But we're just going to do a quick recap of that so that we can get into what we're talking about today. All right, so first of all, when we introduced multiplication, we talked about it with an array, right? We know multiplication is equal groups. And actually, the order of the multiplication equation does matter. So we know that both of these numbers, the numbers that we multiply together, are called factors, right? And typically, a lot of people think, oh, the order doesn't matter because we know 8 times 4 is the same thing as 4 times 8, right? These are the same thing, and we call that the commutative property of multiplication, and that's typically how you learn it. Well, if you're reading the multiplication equation and then going to draw it out, represent it, whether it's a word problem or just doing the bar model, the order does matter. So our equation says 8 groups of, right, equal groups of 4. So you can see right here we have 8 columns, right, and we have 4 in each. If we were to flip that and say 4 groups of 8, we'd have to flip our array, and then we'd have 4 equal groups with 8 in them. Okay, so yeah, the answer is 32, and you probably know that if you know your basic facts, no matter how you multiply it, but to represent it visually, you have to understand that the order of the factors does matter when you read it, because the time sign says groups of. So here we have 8 groups of 4. Now, you already know the answer is 32, or maybe you didn't. I'm just telling you what the answer is up front, right? Because it's not about getting the answer. It's about understanding how we get the answer. So the distributive property tells us that because multiplication is equal groups, we can split those equal groups into 2 or more parts to help us figure out the total, right? Because in multiplication, we're trying to figure out the total in the array, right? And that's called the product. A little mathcabulary review from the first video for you. To find the total, we can repeatedly add 4, right? That's one way. But the distributive property tells us we can split the total into equal groups, right? As long as we have 4 in each group still. And we can split this into 5 groups of 4 in this one. And then 3 groups of 4. And if you didn't know your 8s, you might know your 5s, right? 5s are one of the first basic facts we learned. So 5 times 4 is 20. So I have 20 in this part right here. 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 12 in this part. And now that I know my 2 separate parts, I can bring them back together. And I know that 20 plus 12 is 32. So my total is 32. So again, just quickly showing you the distributive property. Check out our other video if you need an introduction lesson into that. But mathematically, what we just did is we split this 8 into 5 groups of 4, right? And you can put parentheses, or you don't have to put parentheses. I like to do that. And then 3 groups of 4, and we solved it out. We distributed or decomposed the 8 into 5 groups and 3 groups. But again, the key was we still had 4 in each group. So that's the skill, right? That's what the distributive property is. Now let's take a look at how we can apply that to visual models. So here's our I do problem. We have 9 times 5, which again, we're going to read as 9 groups of 5. And typically, if you're drawing a bar model or a tape diagram or a strip diagram, there's been a word problem, right? And we're representing it, but we're really just focused in this video on how to solve that tape diagram using our distributive property. So we're not going to focus on the word problem part, right? But let's say we had, 9 baskets and we had 5 apples in each basket. How many apples did we have in all, right? So I would draw an equal group bar model, right? Because multiplication is equal groups. And I know that I'm looking for the total. So again, the order of the factors does matter. You have 9 groups, right? Because it says 9 groups of 5. So I need to split this into 9 equal groups, or as equal as you can possibly draw. I'm not very artsy, but I do my best no matter what, right? And you would label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we know that we have 5 in each. So if it was a word problem, right, each basket had 5 apples in it. All right. So here, this is just another way to represent your multiplication. So instead of drawing out dots or squares to help us make an array, we made this equal group part whole model to show we understand what this multiplication expression is saying. It's saying 9 groups with 5 in each. So again, because that's supposed to be a question mark right there, because it's multiplication, we know we're looking for the total, right? What's the total that we have all together? So you could repeatedly add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, and you can do that 9 times. It's acceptable. You might even know your basic facts of 9 times 5, which is great. We're just using simple problems to represent this. But if you didn't, you could actually use the distributive property here. If you don't know 9 times 5, or if you don't want to add that, we could split these into, I like to keep doing 5, so I could split this right here, right? And I could figure out, hey, 5 groups of 5 is 25. And then this part right here is 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 5, and I know that's 20. And now I can add these together to get my total of 45. So once you draw your bar model out or your tape diagram out, you can actually split it up because you're looking for the total, right? You could even split it up different ways. You could split it up into 2 groups here and do 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5, and that's still using your distributive property. Mathematically, what you just did is you split this 9, you decomposed it into 5 groups of 5 in each. You solved that first, which is why we put parentheses around it to tell us that we did that first. We grouped that together. And then I had 4 groups of 5 left over, right, as you could see. And then I solved both of them, 25 plus 20, and I got my product as 45. So as you're drawing these bar models, using the distributive property is a great way to solve it if you don't know all of your basic facts. All right, so let's take a look at this we do problem. So here we have 12 times 7, which again is important that you understand what that multiplication says. We have 12 groups of 7 in each. Now if you flip this and you did 7 groups of 12 in each, that would give you the same answer, right? Commutative property. But if it's a word problem, you can't do that and have it make sense. So let's say again, let's use baskets and apples. If we had 12 baskets with 7 apples in each, we can't flip that then and say we have 7 apples with 12 baskets in each, because baskets aren't in apples, right? That doesn't make sense. Now, again, commutative property tells us that 12 times 7 and 7 times 12 are going to be the same thing, right? But we know as we model this, we want to model the multiplication equation correctly. So we're going to have 12 groups with 7 in each. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit longer, and eventually you'll learn how to put a little dot, dot, dot and condense these, but let's not focus on that part right now. Okay, so we're going to split it into 12 equal groups. So I like to split it in half. Then if I split each of those halves into thirds, or 3 equal groups, now I have 6. And so now I simply just split each of those into half, and I have 12. Okay, that's just an easy way to try to make sure your groups are equal. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, that's a bad 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 groups with 7 in each. And again, this is multiplication, so I'm looking for the product. I'm looking for the total of if I added 7 plus 7 plus 7 12 times, right? Because multiplication is repeated addition. So, I don't know my 12 times 7. I mean, I do, but I'm going to act like I don't. But how could I use basic facts I do know to help me solve this? This is what understanding the distributive property helps you to do. Anybody can solve these multiplication problems by breaking it into groups that you know. So I know I can multiply anything by 10, right? Because I just kind of add a 0. So I'm going to split this into 10 groups of 7. And 10 times 7 I know is 70. And then I have 2 leftover groups of 7, which is going to be 14. And so now to find the total, all I do is I add those together. And I see that my question mark, or my product, or the total of my whole bar model is 84, right? So again, Using mathematical symbols, what you just did is you decomposed the 12 into 10 groups of 7 in each, and then you added this to 2 groups of 7 in each. We had to solve those first. We got 70 plus 14, and our answer was 84. All right, let's try this you-try problem. So if you've never been with Instructabeats before, what you're going to do is you're going to pause the video. You're going to draw out your tape diagram or bar model, whatever you call it, okay? Making sure, again, that this is 8 groups of 7, right? So there should be 8 groups with 7 in each. And then even if you do know what 8 times 7 is, go ahead and split it up. Practice splitting it up into smaller, easy, basic facts, decomposing those groups of 8 into different groups, just to help you practice for when you get a little bit harder problem. So hopefully you just paused it and now you push and play to check your understanding. So I have 8 groups. I'm going to go ahead and draw my equal group part whole model right here. And I'm not going to skip this step. I'm going to label it because when I get to word problems, I'd have to label not just the groups, but what the groups actually mean, okay? Because as we represent math, we want to make sure we're always doing it correctly and understanding not just that they're numbers, but what the numbers actually mean in a word problem. And I have 7 in each group. So you could have split this any way you wanted. You could have actually split it into groups of 2 right here, okay? And done 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14. That is one version of the distributive property. I always go back to just using 5 because 5s I think are one of the first ones that I learned. So if I group these together right here and have 5 groups of 7 in each, I know that's 35. And then I have 3 groups of 7, which is 21. So now if I add those together, I get a total of 56. So 8 times 7 is 56. Okay, again, you could have broke this apart any way you wanted to, as long as you broke it apart at least once. But mathematically, if you did it the way I did it and used your 5's facts, you decomposed your 8 into 5 groups of 7 in each. You solved that and then added it to 3 groups of 7 in each. And you'll notice right here when you break these apart, your 7's the same because that's still how many's in each group. And you decompose your 8 into the 5 and the 3, which you can visually see. You had 5 groups here and 3 groups here. All of them had 7 in each. So that's just a quick introduction into the distributive property and how we can use that to solve our visual models when we draw them out to help us with word problems or whatever you're using them for. The key thing to take away again is that the distributive property tells us we can break the big group, right, or the whole model into smaller equal groups to help us. I forgot the word equal there, so go ahead and write that in your notes right there. It has to be smaller equal groups right there, as long as we add them back together at the end, because again, when we're multiplying, we're trying to find the total. Thank you so much for checking us out. We really appreciate you watching Instructabeats. We know there's lots of different options online, so thank you again. We would love for you to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know where you're watching from, and check out our distributive property song and all our other lessons and songs and timers. We'd love to have you join our Instructabeats family. Again, thank you so much. Instructabeats out.